the universe is looking at us all. I think we are all the universe. I think that it's all happening. I think that potentially this is all just in my head. I think it's all just a trick. It's all just one big confusing puzzle with unlimited opportunities, and essentially we're in a maze with 1,000 outs, and you can choose which one you want. You can choose your own life.
Welcome to Foundations, a podcast where I chat with creative and tech founders as they build amazing companies. My goal here is to find out the stories, the wins, the losses, and the reason why they started the whole thing. I'm Johan from Tension Studio, and I hope you enjoy. Let's begin. Today, I'm excited to welcome Matthew Haynes. Or is it Matt Haynes? Well, I don't know what's better, but founder of
either or, man. I usually just
or.
get called Trouble.
Introducing Trouble, the founder of the amazing conference called the Design Conference in Brisbane, which I've been to a few times now, yearly in around June, July.
Yep,
so you bring in design creatives, speakers, overall awesome people from around the world to inspire, educate, and kind of just bring people together, which is awesome.
It's the best.
I just love to kick off to for you to share a bit about yourself as a founder, and also how you came across to start it in the first place.
Well, I mean, in the spirit of keeping things short and sharp, I went to design school. Firstly, I played sport in the States. I played baseball, and throughout my career, I had a lot of really strong male role models that were my coaches. And, the underlying sort of message was, if you don't want to be here, if you don't want to work hard, don't show up. We're all pushing each other, and you kind of get that metaphysical thing where if we're all pulling on the same rope, we can all just grow so much quicker together. If you've got good competition, you rise to the competition. And so I took that mentality into design or into business, because you never knew when you were going to get selected to go pro, and it was all maybe not, probably not. It was pie in the sky sort of dream stuff. And then I sort of started thinking along the lines of, well, in the event you can do anything that you want based on the fact that you're prepared to pay the costs and put the effort in and, treat it like a profession and be a professional. I've sort of come to the realization you can do anything you want, pending, you have the intellect to pull it off. But equally, I'd say the difference between you pulling something off and someone really, really cluey pulling something off is just time. I wouldn't say I'm the smartest person you've ever met, but I've got a lot of grit, and I just fight it out, man. And I just try and think about the core principles that underpin something that's successful. And in my opinion, it's vulnerability and transparency and under-promising and over-delivering and doing all the small things right. So essentially, I took the baseball mentality into design. I went to a conference and thought, I'd like to put my spin on this, and just year after year increase the budget sort of 50%. Didn't take a profit out of the conference, a wage out of the conference, until it was just untenable. And then I stopped doing design work and I jumped full-time TDC.
Wow.
And those 3 or 4 years were hard years, because you just mentally challenging, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to do sponsorships. I didn't know how to do contracts. I didn't know how to do business at an elite level.
Yeah.
And because I gave so much and people could see how much I gave, especially the speakers, because they were all great designers, are very supportive of me, just in the Wild West doing my best, clip that. That was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, people just want to see people succeed. I kind of see that, right?
Well, that's what's happened. I've been able to garner favor off the industry because I'm not driving a Porsche. I do opt for putting in the best technology for the screen and the audios and the AV and the setting. I've always said that the design conference is a very meat and potatoes experience, but the meat and the potatoes is really great AV and really great people on stage. And then sort of the most important evolution of the conference was really getting away from the idea that the design conference shows work and it's a portfolio showcase or some sort of like objective thing. It's a very subjective. Oh, what's the best way to put it? Essentially, I brief the speakers these days to take the stage under the premise that don't talk about your work or your journey. And in order to try and sure that, and the reason I do that, just to while we're out on it, is so they're speaking about, I call it sacred knowledge. So like, how did you step into the dark? How did you like use your heart to find your way in the dark? Because when you're on the edge, man, there's no path. If you're blazing a path, you're cutting the trees down to make the path, you know. And I've seen a couple of those Instagram reels where it's like, you know, you're on your path when it disappears, you know, and that like really resonates with me because I don't know what I'm doing. I say that frequently. I have no idea what I'm doing. But in order to figure out where to go next, I just put myself in the shoes of my sponsors, the audience, and I ask myself, like, what would blow my mind? Like, what would open my heart? What would help me dive deeper into my own goals? And that's other people on stage sort of illustrating how they, you know, had their significant breakthroughs. So, yeah, just to summarize,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, and I've always sought out sacred wisdom and what my heart truly desires, and not the surface level concepts that, you know, infiltrate your mind through the media or through like general chit chat. It's like really thinking deeply about what's important and then just applying my fucking life force to it. And it just keeps giving me the answers. It's like I knew the answers the whole time. I just
Yeah.
need to tune into it.
Yeah, it's almost like, I mean, it's obviously what you're doing. You're manifesting this thing that you want to see in the world, and it's
Mhm.
almost like a blind faith. But it sounds like
Dude,
as you're
it is
doing this,
blind faith,
it is.
100%.
Yeah.
I believe in God now more than ever, and
Yeah,
I
right.
don't go to church, dude.
And what is it about it? Is it because you're and I said this before, maybe it's like people seeing you do something and they want to help, or is it they? Do you kind of take feedback from people, or do you kind of like have this like something inside you that you knew that this needs to exist, or I want to see this in the world? Like, how much of that is like taking feedback to you knowing, hey, people might not know what they want or not want. Let me just run with this.
Um, we do feedback, and we do take it seriously, and we ask a lot of questions. And so, to give you an idea, it took like a 61 minutes and change to do our feedback for last year's conference. Like 25 or 20, it was more than 25, but I say 20, I think it was like 28% of the audience did the feedback or something like that, and we got a 93 out of 100. That's the first time we've ever polled into the 90s, and subsequently it was the first time we'd ever done open nominations for the conference too. And I think that correlates in the way is like, I really ask people to be honest and vulnerable at the conference. And, you know, if they walk out on stage and they do a hype reel and it's clear, you know, they've worked for all the big brands, they've conquered the mountain. And, you know, once you've been there and done it, it's like, now what's important? And all I ask is they just sort of position their mind of like, what's the difference between the person sitting in the audience and the person sitting on stage? And it really is just that we're just trying to give people creative permission to listen to their own heart, because
Mm,
that's it, man. All the answers are there. Everything's in there. So yeah, but ask for feedback for sure. Um, as a brand, we serve our audience first and foremost. Then we serve the speakers, and then we serve the sponsors. But the sponsors need to be super duper happy. So you know, it's a full blown assault on making sure everything correlates in a way. And you know, saying no to sponsorships that don't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, everyone needs to add to the conference and build up that metaphysical energy. So they walk away just going, "Oh my god, I can't wait to get to work, or I can't wait to start my side project." But yeah, man, it's everything. It's
yeah,
all of
yeah,
the above.
yeah. But I think that's what really resonates is like you tap into something innate in everyone in that conference, and it's less about, hey, look how amazing people are on stage. It's more like they're sharing their story, and people in the audience can see themselves within that story, whatever part of that journey. And I
That
like
that
that you
that
also
that's
encourage that.
precisely what we're trying to engineer.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
exact thing. It's like we call them personas.
yeah,
So so when we curate, we try and pick people from all over the world, um, half men, half women, with all respects to non-binary creatives, and yeah, we just try and have the full breadth of experience from ECDs like, Ren Rigby used to be ECD of RGA,
yeah.
20,000
Well,
employees.
yeah, yeah,
And we've got Emma Kayak, who is an independent creative from New Zealand, both equally successful. Oh, or not equally successful, but both successful, equally everything, but have a totally different story. And I believe there's a independent persona in the audience, and there's someone who is climbing the corporate ladder, trying to be executive creative director at some gigantic agency. And I'm sure both archetypes or personas want to hear from both different types of people. So I like to think of TDC as like a diamond of knowledge, and all the facets of the diamond are the different perspectives of the people on stage saying the same thing, but from different childhood traumatic experiences, different shitty parents, different fucking upbringings, different challenges. Like people have, you know, everyone has different challenge, and it's through that challenge to which the message will resonate. So people need to hear it from a perspective.
yes,
I feel that the audience member wants to hear a story of success that originates or yeah is originates through the lens that they live. So like a black person wants to see a black person on stage. You want to see your hero on stage. Like the other day I was on Instagram, and there's this AFL footy player, and there's this First Nations girl in the audience, and he walks by and gives her a little wave, and she just
yeah,
bursts into tears, bro.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I was just like, oh my god, because what, people want to see their hero.
yeah, yeah,
They want to see
100%.
themselves on stage. And a Nations person isn't going to see themselves on stage in a white bearded dude.
Yeah, yeah,
So, and
100%.
we need to do better with getting First Nations representation at TDC. It's very difficult.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also like it's very open from me being there and being part of the like watching the conference, of being there, kind of mingling with people. It is very open, like that kind of like the line between the stage and the
Oh
audience seems
yeah,
to be more and more blurred every time I go, which is
there
amazing,
is
right?
no green room. We encourage the speakers to sit in the audience. We encourage them to mingle. They do their feedback to me was they want more time just to hang out. So we're going to do a
Yeah,
dinner this year that's just them.
nice,
But
nice.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, life isn't a dress rehearsal, bro. Like every day that you wake up is one day closer to the day you die, man. And you got to go hard. No, you don't have to go hard. Like this is what Julie Solstrom, that's what her talk was all about last year. Like if you ask me, it's like, what do you do? I'm like, man, go hard in the paint. No pain, no gain. Like that's what I would say. And Julie's
Yeah,
like, no, thanks.
yeah,
Like slow down is her thing. And so everyone's different. So, and this is what's so beautiful about having 20 to 25 people say the same thing. It comes through their own lived experience. And the human experience is what defines our ability to understand things. Like if you got abused as a kid, like fucking, how can you listen to someone who had a silver spoon in their mouth the whole? They've got no fucking idea. You want to get someone who understands so they can sit you down and go, man, it's hard. But
yeah.
what else are you going to do?
Exactly, exactly. It's like that. It's a
And even
nice.
that advice could be terrible. Like I just
Yeah, fair enough. But I think it's like that balance, right? I think you have this kind of global, universal truths that you want people to see, but then you kind of want them to be able to ground that in their own experience. I remember one year you gave everyone an envelope and you said, "Hey, write down like your plan or your dream for next year, and come back." And then you kind of like review it, see if it came true. It's kind of like an empowering
and
experience.
then we got fucking postponed for COVID.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I remember that. I was like, ah, I mean, the dream, but what you did was actually give people permission to not even dream, like to write it down, to make it real, right? I think that's what was interesting. What's interesting about your event is doing that. And so I think with that in mind, like, how do you know how to focus, like, you know, the the resources to be able to kind of like, hey, we want to build this kind of professional experience, but at the same time, there's got to be a bit of like metaphysical kind of, or like more kind of like connection pieces in here. Like, how do you balance that?
Man, look, there's no way to understand it, but classic Matt Haynes philosophy is just reverse engineer it, man. Like, what's the outcome that you desire? So, what if I was to give you like my grown-up version of it now? I'd say, like, what's the outcome that you wish to achieve? Okay, firstly, you got to ask yourself something along the lines of, is that the right outcome? Because, like, it's one thing to have an outcome, but have you diagnosed the right problem? And so, like, what's the problem? And so I would go with the conference. Problem number one is a lot of conferences came before TDC and they have pitched or placed in the zeitgeist what a conference is. So I'm fighting that problem, number one. And then number two, if it's not going to be, ticketing and waiting and sitting in the audience and not meeting anybody, like if it's going to be something special, what kind of special is that? And I go, okay, well, who's your audience? And I go, well, I've always been my own audience. I'm in the audience because everyone grew up with me with the conference. Like it used to be all students, then it was half students, now it's no students because it's my age group, right? And essentially I was like, I want to give people the idea that they can do whatever the fuck they want. That's it. But it's going to cost. It's going to cost you something. It might cost you friendships. It might cost you time. It might cost you money. It might cost you everything. But at the end of the day, I kind of came to the realization personally that I'd rather fail than sit on the sidelines and see someone else do my idea. And then over and above that, like things like helping make an impact in other people's lives, just like that keeps you going when the times are tough. That helps you get out of bed.
Yeah.
And
you're a connector, mate. I think that's kind of like what I see in why it works so much, because you give so much of yourself out there, and
you
then
have
that
to.
permission is infectious.
Well, I mean, yeah, dude. I don't know. At the end of the day, I grew up on the sunny coast. I graduated during the GFC. Like everything's been stacked against me since day dot, and I'm just like, that's odd. Start a conference, got to run it through COVID. Yeah, it's just another day. You're just staying agile, staying on top of things. Life is beautiful, man. Like it's poetry, and suffering is beautiful, man.
Is it? Okay.
Oh, dude, suffering sucks. But like one of my mates at university used to say this. He says, the bitter makes the sweet taste so much better. And I've seen it, man. I've seen it when I played baseball. I saw people not give their all, and they never made the top grade. And I'm like, you fucking idiot! You could have had it all, but you'd rather chase tail and drink piss and
right.
be a fucking teenager. Like, snap out of it. Like, grow up. Like, you'd be
that's
playing
it. I think
playing in the big leagues, man. Playing in Yankee Stadium. That would be amazing.
Yeah. And it's also, it's kind of like bringing that down to truth, right? I think, like you're saying, anyone can be anything, but they need to do the thing. I think part of the reason I called my studio tension shooters, because I feel like there's tension in potential. Like I think like you have the potential to do anything, but within that kind of space is like where you decide, okay, am I going to run with this, or I'm going to kind of just cruise by instead?
Well, the main thing to realize is that bad isn't bad.
Okay.
Like bad shit isn't bad. It's inspiration. Everything that happens is, I mean, bad things happen, like shit that's just bad. But like good and bad, like it just is, and it happened. Fucking move on. Like you just gotta fucking move on, or you don't. But like, I just don't see the purpose in just suffering. Like, no. I understand the purpose of suffering. I don't see the purpose in suffering in excess. It's like, have a glass of wine, but don't drink fucking bottles of the shit every day. Have a shit day. Don't make a habit of it. but like moderation, like it's okay to suffer, but it's not okay to just dwell on it. Because at the end of the day, man, TikTok, bro,
Yeah.
TikTok, your life, it's yours.
And do you bring that into everything you do? Obviously, that's your life, the way you see life purpose, and how much of that is instilled not only into what you build in the design conference, or even like in the people you work with. Like, how much of that kind of mentality is you
I think
driving
it's
that?
everything, man. It's
Okay,
everything. I think, all right, this is what I think.
okay, tell me.
I think the universe is looking at us all. I think we are all the universe. I think that it's all happening. I think that potentially this is all just in my head. I think it's all just a trick. It's all just one big confusing puzzle with unlimited opportunities. And essentially, we're in a maze with 1,000 outs, and you can choose which one you want. You can choose your own life. And I know that if someone was listening and they're disadvantaged, they're thinking like, fuck off, mate. You have no idea what you're talking about. Like, we don't have power, so
Yeah,
fuck you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and it's just like, I get it. I do get it. But there's still things you can choose. With all disadvantage, you can choose, and you can just choose your way to the best outcome for you, whatever that might be. Because when push comes to shove, it's better than the worst outcome, and
Yes,
that's something to be proud of. Like
that's
that
it.
that you chose correctly. Like, you might be so disadvantaged, right? But good decisions and hard work and being proud of the effort that you put in might position you to have a family where your kids get to choose. And that deserves a clap. And if the universe is looking down on you, like, man, I have goosebumps, bro, right now. Because if the universe is just dying to radiate positivity, bro. It's just dying to radiate positivity. It just wants to be there and just be
It
like,
rewards
go
action,
you.
doesn't it? Like, it rewards action. You put something out in the world.
I can't
It's something
help but
where,
feel like that is true, bro. The universe, and that's what I try and do. I try and position myself favorably in the eyes of the universe, and in doing so, it gives me the strength to take risks that otherwise would feel very, very difficult. Like, man, I've risked it all. My
yeah,
risk profile is through the roof.
yeah.
But you get an email from someone that's like, "Hey, just want you to know you changed my life," and I'm just like, "Yes, dude. Yes."
I bet you get that a lot. I bet you get that a lot.
We get a couple every year for sure. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And is that okay? With that in mind, like, what is like the next 12 months? Obviously, you have an event. You have the next one
June.
in June, right? So what does this look like, and what do you see it beyond
Well,
this one? Yeah,
I think TDC this year will be like completely and totally and utterly sold out. Like, we've sold out in the past, but I have like 120 guest tickets. I don't even think our student council will get seats this year, where that they're getting sold. Um, we've tripled down on like the technological investment. So we have like LED on every stage now, like big screens for the panels. We've integrated our sponsors' needs more clearly without ruining the conference culture. We're about to launch a streaming platform with TDC. It's like all being built right now. Shout out to Alan from Numeral. And yeah, we're building a creative ecosystem that's like a network of fully verified CVs. And that started with the design careers on Instagram.
yes,
It's like
yeah,
25,000 followers. It's growing faster than the design conference. It's bananas. I could open it now and have 50 new followers. So it's follower central. And so while we've created this ecosystem on stage where people can speak into people's lives, it's like, okay, now what do they do? We're going to give our audience members an instrument to go and find their best job. And fingers crossed, we're going to engineer it in like an intelligent way where we can use data to help give people insights before they needed it. So it's like, hey, instead of going, here's jobs, it's like, Johan, here's a job for you. And you're like, whoa, that's a fucking good job. That would be a really great job, or a really great contract, or a really great person to collaborate with. And I got into the philosophy of cryptography when, in the bull runs, like, you got to pay attention to this like culture. And I like the idea of like trustless societies where, like, I don't need to trust you to work with you because I know you're epic at your job and I know you're a great communicator and I really like your work and you've got great rates. And if we were to work together, we could produce some really great stuff. And that's what I'm trying to set up with the conference. So people just know who they can work with, know who they should avoid. Like, no, with the platform, should I say.
Yeah.
So, we'll be raising money for that in the next sort of 6 to 12 months, which is pretty exciting. I've never done that before, but I think it's going to be massive, dude. Massive.
Never a dull moment, I think, with you and what you're building.
It's just normal for me, man.
Yeah,
it's just normal life.
Yeah. You just can't help but create, which is amazing that you've allowed that to flourish, right? Which is
I've
great.
never had a job, man.
Yeah, I don't think you could do it, to be honest. But all right, keeping conscious of not only your time but also the amount of wisdom you've already shared. If you could give an advice to a founder, I think you've kind of mentioned this already throughout this talk, but like, what would be like one key thing to kind of just say, someone sitting on the fence, I'm not sure, should I start
to go to the conference?
No, to do the thing, to become a founder, to build a thing.
Get therapy.
Get therapy.
Get therapy and do some psychedelics with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Okay.
Get therapy. Man, what is sitting between most people and their dream future is childhood trauma. Well, our parents we love them, but they're the worst people we've ever met. Like, they're the worst influence on all of us. Like, not everybody. Not everyone, but the worst advice we get is from our friends and family because they think they care about us and they think they're protecting us by telling us not to do things that they failed in doing. But if you're going to compare oranges and oranges, you got to figure out if you're an orange or an apple. Now, if you're comparing apples and oranges, you got to figure out first, are you the apple or the orange? And if you want to make orange juice and you start squeezing an apple and someone's like, I'm an apple and I squeezed apple, I did my absolute best and there was no orange juice, don't do it. What can I tell you, man? Don't listen to an apple if you're trying to make orange juice. Do you know what I mean? Like, totally. People are trying to help you, but equally. So I was saying this to a friend just yesterday, like, in my mind, I have a table, like a dining table. And every time someone gives me advice, I just go, thank you. And I put it on the dining table. And man, bad advice, you just can't remember bad advice. You go to draw on. It's like, what do I do? What do I do in this situation? And you just end up finding the answer by listening to your heart. And when your heart is clear of trauma, you can just go, hey, don't do that. And you're like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, other times it's like, I wouldn't advise doing that, but considering, you've had a shit week and you've been working 80 hours, like, let's go get lit. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, live hard, live fast, die fast, or whatever. Like, Timber Smith said it. It's like, live slow. He did that. He flipped it, and he's right, man. Just, deal with your trauma, talk to somebody. But like, this is the other thing. Like, don't dwell on it too long either. You don't need to talk about your trauma for fucking years on end. Just get it off your chest. Admit to it fucking happens to you. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, dude. Everything that happened to you is the result of another person's inadequacies being acted upon you. That's the first thing you need to know. And it sucks because then you cotton onto the idea that people don't care. People don't care about you. They just care about themselves. Everyone's greedy. Everyone only thinks about themselves. And they do so because when you're hoarding whatever it is, love, money, sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever it is, you hoard it, it just keeps slipping through your fingers. So you got to hoard more. But if you just do this and go, you can put it in or you can take it away, like, it's there for the taking. people just keep putting in your hands because they're like, oh, if people are coming to you for wisdom, here's my wisdom. And they just put it in your hands. You're like, I've got more. I've got more than I ever imagined. And all I'm trying to do is give.
Right.
And that's what's underpinned the conference, bro. Give more than you take. That's what my grandfather
Honestly,
used to
it's the conference. It's also you. So I really appreciate you sharing the story, because honestly, not only before speaking to you, I already knew all this,
yeah.
but to see it come out and kind of go into detail, it's amazing. So, and I appreciate your time.
Bro, thank you for having me, and
Yeah.
looking forward to having you up at the conference.
Yeah, mate. I'll see you up there soon. So yeah, if people want to find out more about the design conference,
just go to the website, designconference.com.au. If I have done my job properly, that's all you need to know. If you want to know more, if you go there, it'll explain everything. I think we've done a good job for the first time ever, and it's just getting better. We're refactoring a lot of code. We're resubmitting, a bunch of the components to function better, and it's not buggy, but we're getting there.
I check that out. It's amazing.
I hope to win Website of the Month on the awards soon.
There you go. But all right, awesome.
No, Website of the Day. Website of the Month would be bananas. That'd be amazing. Mate, thank you so much. And if you need anything from me, man, I'm always a phone call away, no matter what.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, whatever you need, consider it done.
Appreciate it, Pat.